I don't really like the bidet.
Bro, how the bidet is the best thing in Japan though?
Let me explain.
Okay.
Hi guys.
I'm Theo,
And I'm Gia.
and welcome to another episode of
Passion Project Japan. And do you know the passion fruit is actually named after the suffering and death of Jesus Christ?
That's the fun fruit fact of the week for you. We have many more lined up for our future episodes of Passion Project Japan. So today we're going to do something a little bit different, something that we've never done on this podcast before. Mm-hmm. We are going to be reacting to the posts on r/Japanlife. Do you know what's that?
No idea.
So r/Japanlife is the subreddit. So subreddit is like, imagine like a forum, and this is like a group, a community where people can make posts and then people can upvote the post that gains the most attention. So we're just going to be reacting to the most like upvoted for the past week, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. And give our own thoughts on it. Yeah. Just because it's fun. Yeah. Okay, so the first one would be, okay, it's so funny because if you look at this, the tag is like yabai. Okay, so the top of this week is submitted by a guy called user PPP. Yes, PPP. I'm not joking. Not making this up. This is not us. Japan's cleanliness myth.
Okay.
Does anybody else feel that this whole idea that Japan and Japanese people are very clean is kind of a lie, or at least a misinterpretation? I worked at kitchens when I was a university student and saw, even at fancy izakayas, that there was zero food safety or hygiene culture in the food industry here. So basically he's kind of just saying that cleanliness is kind of a lie because there's like cockroaches, there's like low food hygiene, there's like trash everywhere. And so this is his experience. Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, I do think that sometimes Japanese people are not hygienic, but it's not in the kitchen or in any restaurants.
Dude, I work in the kitchen. Okay, so I work at a restaurant. I shall not name the restaurant. To be honest, I thought it was pretty clean though. Like, yeah. I mean, I've never worked in a kitchen before back in Singapore, but at least I thought that there was no issues with the food safety or hygiene practices.
Same.
The chef was quite strict. You worked at fast food chain, a very popular fast food chain.
Yes, I did, and they were pretty strict with their like daily checkups. Yeah. However, they don't like mass clean the kitchen every single day. It's more like once a month or like once a few months. So I'm not sure. I mean, for me, I think it's generally clean, but I don't know the standard of cleanliness in this post is.
But do you think that they are do you think it's a lie? Like people are misinterpreted or typecasting or stereotyping Japanese people to be very clean? Because I personally, before I came to Japan, I also had this image that Japanese people are very clean. And
why?
I agree. Because, okay, so
why?
Do you know this story, or like back in Singapore, we are also known as like a clean and green city. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of a lie. Mm-hmm. It's not that Singapore is clean. Singapore is a cleaned city. The difference is that there are a lot of cleaners on the street who actually clean up. So they are the unsung heroes that make Singapore really beautiful in that sense. But actually there's a lot of littering, a lot of trash, and then just people clean it up. But in Japan, you rarely see like trash bins, right? Like honestly, living here, there's no like if you walk on the street, you don't find like public trash bins.
That's a lie. I mean, there's no trash bin. I agree. Okay? Come on.
Okay.
Yo, I agree. But if you go to places like Tokyo or Shibuya, there's trash everywhere.
Okay.
There's trash everywhere.
No,
there are just too many people.
How can you compare Shibuya? Shibuya is like literally...
Why can't I?
How can you say like Shibuya is clean though? What kind of main city
what do you mean I cannot compare? I mean, if the knowledge of Japan is very clean, it should be applied to any places around Japan, no?
No, but I think that Japanese people clean up after themselves. Do you know these like images?
Okay,
or like after World Cup and stuff, you see like Japanese people, they clean up after themselves in the stadium. Mm-hmm. So I don't think, is this just part of like the culture, like to do like soji, like to clean up?
I know that one important part, like what the most important part of like Japanese life, at least that I heard from like Japanese old men I talked to, is cleanliness.
Why are you talking to Japanese old men?
Why can't I? What do you mean?
No,
I'm just joining like a club or something, and then I had to interact to some like Japanese Oji-san.
Yeah.
And they said that cleanliness, close to nature are those like top priorities when they choose their, space or like living standards. But I have one thing that it's just my own observation, okay? I think Japanese people, or when they go to the toilet, they don't wash their hands with soap.
Don't wash. Okay,
for me, that's so weird. Like, if I go pee.
Wait, but you're a girl.
I am a girl.
So you're saying that you go to girl bathroom and girls don't wash their hands?
Girls don't wash their hands. They do wash it, but they only wash it with water.
Wait,
okay?
number 1 or number 2?
How would I know if they go for number, number 2?
We know, they know.
Okay.
I don't know. But the thing is, they never wash their hands. And for me, that's so surprising because...
At all? No washing hands at all?
They wash their hands, but it's okay, like some tip a little bit. Usually for me, even when I go to pee, when I go to take like number 2, I always wash my hands with soap, no matter what.
Okay. Well, but I don't think I from my personal experience in the guys' toilet, people do wash their hands though.
But do you wash it with soap?
I mean, I don't wash it with soap. If I'm doing number 1.
No, man, that's not clean at all. Yeah.
But I don't even touch anything.
How do you know you don't touch?
Bro,
I mean,
I'm like careful, man.
Bro,
I'm a
if you
surgeon.
open...
I am a surgeon. I am a surgeon. I am like mechanically like unzipping and like pulling it down, not touching it,
exactly.
not making any contact. If I make contact, then of course I'm gonna wash that.
Okay, guys are different, okay? But if you open the door, the first thing you touch is already public, and you should wash it because you never know who's touched that thing, okay?
What if there's no soap? Sometimes there's no soap.
Yeah, there's no soap.
And you wash somewhere else. I mean, come on.
The dedication. So
Okay,
you say because of that, then Japanese is a myth. Cleanliness is a myth.
It might be a myth. I do agree. Like I'm so surprised when I go to the bathroom and people don't wash their hand with soap. Me, now that you said it right, usually when I go to a bathroom, like a public toilet, I always see if there's like soap. If there's no soap, I would try to avoid touching anything, even opening the door.
Okay, fair enough. But is it a myth though? Because I think that it's not a myth. I think it's legit.
It's true.
Because this guy was saying Japanese cleanliness is a myth. But personally, from my experience, I think Japanese people, they really do clean up after themselves. And definitely when I've been here, I feel like the general standard of cleanliness is really high. Last year, almost a year from today, like in June last year, I went to New York.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, if we're talking about cleanliness levels, like, bro, New York was kind of stank. Like, it was legit kind of nasty. It was very fun. Lots of good vibes. Lots of very interesting towns and different like people around. But the streets itself were very, very, very dirty. And there were like public trash cans. But the people would like just throw their stuff like in front of the trash can. Like not even in the trash can. Yeah. Okay. Whereas in Japan, generally you see people take home their trash and stuff. So I would say it's a cleanliness thing. Although I guess he is talking more about like food
hygiene.
Yeah, food hygiene. And like those people like, oh, there's like a hoarder, you know.
Yeah, okay. If you talk about like cleanliness in terms of cleaning up themselves or keep things tidy, yes, I agree with that. But if you talk about hygiene, I have like, mixed feelings.
Hey guys, if you like the content that you're seeing so far, please remember to subscribe to us on YouTube at Passion Project Japan. We love to make more content for you guys, and seeing our subscriber count go up is a good way to let us know that we're on the right track to making the best content we can. So remember to subscribe. Okay, so I don't want to misrepresent this guy, okay? So he basically said that he's just pissed off because some of his colleagues, I guess he works in a Japanese company, was surprised because the PPP mentioned that he showered every day, like twice sometimes. And then they were saying like, wow, you are like a Japanese person. I didn't know foreigners like to shower. Which is like,
what?
Yeah, I can see why he's like pissed off because of that. Like he was like, F off Tanaka. Cleanliness here seems to be mostly performative, like every social habit, which is like kind of harsh. Yeah, but the showering thing, we watched this show recently. It's called Shogun. Fantastic show. But there was this kind of like this gag where Anjin-sama? Anjin-sama, he didn't shower like every day, and then they were like, why don't you shower? Yeah. So but I think there's like a super like old ass stereotype. Like people shower, man. Come on, like especially in the summer. Like you have to shower at least minimally once a day. Like
especially if you're coming from a tropical country.
Yeah.
right?
Dude, I swear, like, yeah, tropical countries people will shower all the time.
The showering culture is also very different between countries. Like you guys shower twice a day.
Twice a day.
For us, at least in my family, we usually shower after going back from work or going back from school. But some Mexicans I know, they usually shower in the morning. So even if they went to a party and then they sweat a lot,
So
they
don't
would
shower
just
after.
they will never shower after. They just go straight back to sleep and then wake up the day after and then take shower.
Yeah, shower is
So-
very cultural.
Yeah, it's a very cultural thing. Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I don't want to stereotype. In just my own experience, I see that people shower differently in different countries.
Yeah. And I think one of the comments here, he said that I get the impression that Japan is tidy, not clean. Clean carries a connotation of also being sanitary, but tidy is just neat and orderly. A much more accurate description of the reality on the ground. Which I guess maybe that's your.
I have, yeah. I think
Your
he made my point. One more thing. I don't really like the bidet.
Oh,
wait.
best thing in Japan, though.
Let me explain.
Okay.
In Southeast Asia, you usually have that gun,
Yes, the hand bidet.
the hand bidet.
Yeah.
That's superior because the strength of the water, it just, makes your like the washing experience way much better.
The water pressure is different.
The water pressure is very different.
Depends on the place.
Depends on the place.
Depends
though.
on the
But-
place.
But the thing is that I will never use a hand bidet in public. I will
Okay.
never use the hand bidet in public.
I would never use a bidet in public as well. I mean,
but even the Japanese toilet, you don't
even
use
the
a bidet?
Japanese toilet, I know I never use.
You know how many?
What?
Dude,
Really?
you know how many?
But they clean the nozzle, though.
buttocks they go through.
No, but they clean the nozzle.
How
though.
do you know they clean the nozzle?
Because
I
like
mean-
you hear that sound like shh, is the
Yeah.
thing like cleaning the
But
nozzle before it
that's
shoots
true.
a
Like
stream
it,
into
it
your.
cleans, but like
But-
how clean?
How exactly?
I'm so scared. I don't want to get gonorrhea or like.
You
or like,
won't get
or like-
gonorrhea
No,
from-
the thing is
from
they
a
don't.
bidet.
How do you know that they clean it with water or just like just water or soap? You never know, and it's spraying to so many people. Don't you think?
It's never clean with soap.
But
You
yeah,
see?
I think bidet, hand bidet.
And it's so
That's why I bought a hand bidet for my house instead
yeah.
of like the
See,
Japanese bidet.
it's not strong. It's not strong, so you feel like okay, I'm not washing anything. Personally, I don't think I'm washing anything with the Japanese bidet.
It's just a different.
Like,
The
you,
Japanese
you have
bidet.
to like do the
Yeah,
wiggle wiggle.
yeah, you have to adjust. You gotta like
Exactly, you
gotta-
have to
gotta
do the
wiggle. Yeah. Whereas the
wiggle.
hand, you just kind of
Like
move your hand
there's
to-
the
to
there's
fine
the
tune the
swirl.
experience.
There's like the rocking chair. There's like the
That-
the couch.
That is kind of nasty. Anyways, so that's okay. So Japan's cleanliness is a myth. Agree or disagree?
I kind of agree. Yeah.
I disagree. I think Japan is clean. Japan is clean.
Okay, if
Yeah.
depends on your spectrum of cleanliness. If you talk about tidy and thing, as the other guy said, I agree. But in terms of hygiene, I have like mixed, controversial.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is this post. I like my life in Japan, ... But, so that's like the prompt. And basically, this guy, he's saying like in his post, this is mainly aimed at people who by and large like living in Japan, but they have a big butt. Yeah, BBLGC.
What?
BBLGC. Okay, so the caveat is that it has to be something that could theoretically change. Yeah, so it's too hot in summer or it's too cold in winter. It's like a cop out, right? So I like my life in Japan. ... But what's so? For example, he said that his but is that the working culture sometimes is a bit too much. Like the people that he work with, like they basically message him at like 9, 10, 11 midnight. So the grind never stops for them. Yeah, but okay, to be honest, this working culture thing, I think it is a thing, but it's also very dependent on like what kind of company you're in, where you are in life as well. For example, like in a startup, I would imagine that people just work just kind of 24/7 a little bit because it's a startup culture and that's very normalized. Like you want to get it off the ground. Yeah, but if it's a big corporate, of course, then there should be more like, stricter rules. Yeah. And you don't have to reply them. If
That's true. Yeah.
like people text me after 8 p.m. I think I very rarely reply unless urgent. Yeah, but I like my life in Japan. ... But
What are the views
Okay.
If you
I love my life in Japan. This is a comment. I love my life in Japan, but visiting my family overseas has become too expensive to do on a regular basis.
I mean, it applies to anywhere in the world if you live abroad, right?
I guess maybe this person lives like really somewhere in the West, on the other side of the world, where it's really expensive to fly there. Yeah, for us it's like 6 hours, and I mean it's not the most expensive flight. It's kind of expensive, but from Japan to Singapore, if you take budget flights, which I do, it's about 700 Sing dollars, so about like 9 in Gurai. Yeah,
For 2 ways.
2 ways.
Same
Yeah.
for me. So
No, Vietnam is cheaper. Vietnam is like
yeah, it can be cheaper if you use budget airline,
yeah.
but usually the quality is like questionable. Oh, I have another but, but you say
Oh no,
first.
you say first. I'm still thinking actually.
Are you still thinking?
Yeah.
They don't have breakfast culture here. It's not obvious.
Okay.
Okay.
Explain.
Explain. Back home, I can go out, eat breakfast with my friends. It's a very common thing. I can eat nikuman. I can also eat like pho. I can also eat banh mi. I can also just order like something small and then I go coffee with my friends or even colleagues. But in here, you have nothing to eat for breakfast. You don't really have anything to eat for
Well,
breakfast.
Nagoya there's morning good.
I mean, there's morning good, but the morning goods are just the same thing. I mean, it's just bread and then coffee. Come on, is there anything else? I mean, there's eggs, okay, jam, eggs, butter, whatever, but it's just bread, and then the side snack. But at home, you can eat like sticky rice. You can eat banh mi. You can eat like yogurt. You can eat like like a ballad, like
So
the egg,
Or balut.
balut, like anything like so many things to eat.
So it's more variety out like in
Yeah.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like the craziest thing is that McDonald's here open at like 7 a.m. And then their breakfast service ends at 10:30. So you have this like very slim 3.5 hour window to get your McGriddles. Yeah. But McDonald's is a pretty big thing here, like asamaku. Yeah. The McDonald's breakfast. Yeah. But yeah, I'm
I
trying
mean,
to
that's
think.
normal though.
Their breakfast, I guess, yeah, it's very. There isn't like a breakfast food. Like maybe I'm like tripping. Maybe it's like natto.
I mean, they eat rice in the morning.
They do, yeah, they do eat rice in the morning.
Yeah.
But I've never gone to a breakfast place to eat rice in the morning. Usually it's like home cooked. No?
It's usually, if it's rice, it's usually home cooked.
Yeah.
When you go out, there is barely anything to eat except when you go for like say onigiri in kombini or like morning good. But you see, there's not many.
Or like breakfast culture. Like
yeah,
the
there's no
culture.
breakfast culture. Like you don't go out and eat breakfast with your friends.
Yes, sir.
You mean like customer breakfast culture, right?
Yeah.
I think it's mostly like what, like people eat at home
Yeah. Exactly.
for breakfast because like their moms or their
Yeah.
grandmas cook for them, and then they leave for work.
And then they go cafes. Yeah.
Yeah, even for kids at home, usually they would also would go with friends as well before going to school. So, for example, if classes start at 7:30, they would meet around 6:30 to eat like sticky rice together, and then they go to school. That's very common. But in here, I don't really see that. I mean, they just go to school with bento, or either they just eat at home and then they go to school.
Right.
It's very different. At home, I have so many ideas in my mind on what to eat for breakfast.
Ah, okay. Whereas here you don't feel as
Yeah,
inspired.
I don't feel as inspired. I just eat, I wake up, I eat bananas, eggs, and then milk. That's it. I mean, I did that at home too, but sometimes if I feel bored, I want to eat out, I still have choices, you know?
Options, yeah.
Yeah.
What should people do?
Follow Passion Project Japan on Instagram and TikTok.
On a counterpoint, there's a lot of like family restaurants here. They have pretty good breakfast though, but they're very Western style.
Very Western. I mean, still bread and then like other stuff.
Okay, rank your family restaurants though. Like Denny's, Royal Host. What else? Saizeriya, is it counted? Okay. Denny's, Royal Host, Saizeriya. Am I missing?
Gusto.
Count? Gusto count? Okay, I guess
Gusto.
Gusto count. Okay, let's just do this for. I think there's some more like Johnny's and stuff, but we don't really have that in Nagoya, I think. But number one.
Saizeriya.
Saizeriya is your number one.
Yeah.
Damn. Why?
They have the focaccia. They have very good bread.
Just because of the focaccia?
Yeah, and then the salad is decent. Cheap and decent.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And then the food is not bad as well. The pasta is okay. Like it's edible. I mean, of course, it's edible, but it's not bad.
Actually, honestly, I think that Saizeriya, for the price, the cost performance, which is like the value, I guess, is pretty good because it's not too expensive and you actually can get full from eating Saizeriya. Yeah. And it's not as bad. Okay, in Singapore, I think Saizeriya gets clowned on because it's kind of bad. But to be honest, Saizeriya here is pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I mean, it's Japanese Italian food, so it's not Italian food, but it's pretty good. Decent. If you are hungry, you want a quick, cheap meal that is not like, what do you call it? Tsukiya, Yoshinoya, Saizeriya.
What's your number one then?
My number one? Okay, this is purely for like their breakfast. I think Royal Host.
I see. Sasuga.
Dude, Royal Host, it's just that it's, okay, Royal Host, the only bad thing for Royal Host is that it's way too expensive.
Yeah, who paid $10 for breakfast? That's too much.
It's too expensive, but I would say the taste, Royal Host, the variety of their breakfast menu is insane. Like really, there's so much stuff. Yeah.
I disagree.
Okay, but actually now I can kind of see like Saizeriya. If we're talking about holistically, I do think that I would eat Saizeriya more than I would
you can get a better breakfast in Saizeriya,
Denny's food
I'm
is
sure.
pretty good though.
Denny's food is pretty good, but this portion is usually very small compared to Saizeriya. You pay 1,000, you get like maybe half the size of what you get in Saizeriya with the same price.
Okay, but I guess it depends on what you're rating. Okay, so if you're talking about food quality, to be honest, Gusto food kind of bad, kind of mid. Okay, nothing to write home about. But Gusto has free Wi-Fi and the free charging ports. So if you're going there to do some work, you get like a meal, you eat it, drink bar, you can just sit down there and literally do a work. And especially if you go to like some random Gusto. So for that, I feel like that gives points to Gusto. Okay, so my ranking would be Royal Host number 1 for the breakfast menu, followed by Gusto for the Wi-Fi. Okay, the food is pretty mid. Then Saizeriya. Okay, no, sorry. Royal Host number 1, Saizeriya number 2, Gusto, and then Denny's.
I don't have any image of Gusto. I don't.
Dude, Gusto like it's purely for their Wi-Fi and charging port. Because
I wouldn't say in places like that just to do work. I mean, it's the smell itself smells like a fried food place.
Dude, she's like super sensitive to smell.
So I wouldn't. I would feel like I'm sticked into like places that like it doesn't have that triggering smell for work, you know. Whereas if you go to a cafe, the smell of the coffee is very sensational. If it triggers you or it creates some relaxation for you to do work. Yeah. That's why people go to the cafe to do work, right? Not like restaurants and stuff. The scenery itself is also not there for me to do work.
Don't sleep on Gusto, man. Gusto is pretty good.
You can have Wi-Fi anywhere, not just Gusto. Come on.
Dude, Gusto, like it's a family restaurant. It's probably the best.
It's a family restaurant. Then why do you have to do work there?
Dude,
you just go there with your family and you go home.
In like Saizeriya and Denny's.
Yeah, and then that's fine because you go there with your friends. I mean, you're high school students. You don't have that much money.
Dude, I'm a broke university student. I don't have much money.
Have you ever done work in Saizeriya?
Saizeriya?
Yeah.
No.
Then?
But Gusto, yes.
And then?
For the Wi-Fi.
For the Wi-Fi, but is the food good enough or is the food?
No, the food is cheap.
The food
is okay. The food is it's like not the best.
Price-wise
also is okay.
If you choose between Gusto and then Starbucks, what would you choose to do work? I mean, Starbucks sometimes can have free Wi-Fi too.
That's
right?
true. It depends whether I want to eat a meal because like the problem with like Starbucks, like you can literally only get drinks there and like there's no food. So if I want to stay there for like if I know I'm gonna stay there extended period of time, then maybe Gusto is better because I can get food, the drink bar, there's also coffee, even though it's not as good as Starbucks. You can stay longer if it's like a whole day of work. But if I know I'm only gonna do like an AM shift or PM shift, then Starbucks will be better just because their coffee is better. Yeah, breaking down all these random, very important discussion. Yeah. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please remember to subscribe to us on YouTube at Passion Project JP. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Make sure to follow it, leave a review if you like it. Yeah.
And also follow us on social media as Passion Project JP on TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn if you want.
Yeah, we also have a newsletter. So if you go to www.passionproject.com, passionprojectjp.com. Yeah, you can subscribe to our newsletter. We try to do it every week. Yeah, we try to send out information every week, some ideas, all in written down form. Yeah, so if you want to consume it that way, please feel free to do so. Yeah, if you like this kind of format of episode where we're just kind of chatting off the top of our head, also just let us know. Yeah, if you have any suggestions for our content, let us know as well. There's a lot of call to actions. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's pretty fun. Enjoyed the discussions, the duo, the debate. Okay, thanks guys.
Bye.
Bye.